Hey, greetings there, everybody. It's Leecon here again with another episode of Lore of Warcraft. On our last one, we fought through technical difficulties and looked at Hellwood in our World of Warcraft, the role-playing game Dungeons and Dragons. Um, in this episode, we're going to continue Cycle of Hatred. In this novel, as we work toward Classic, we saw Aegwynn and Jaina Proudmoore continue to chop it up, and we learned a little bit about how she lost her power, how she began to age, how she gave it up in a battle with Sargeras slash Medivh. So stay a while and listen as we continue chapter 17. I hope that we're not going to have camera troubles. I just rebooted some things. Apparently this is a common recall in the camera that I use. So I might have to, if it continues to shut down again, we're going to have to possibly send it in or get a new one. All right, here we go, chapter 17. Thrall had spent the day hearing petitions. Most were for mundane matters that he would have thought his fellow orcs could handle on their own. Some were for disputes in which the two sides simply were not capable of agreeing, and so a neutral third party was required to settle them. In truth, it could have been anyone who settled them, but as war chief, it was his duty. When the last of the petitioners had left the throne room, Thrall rose from the animal skin seat and paced the room, grateful for the opportunity to stretch his legs. Sorry, excuse me. He still had not heard from Jaina regarding the thunder lizards, but he had not received any more reports of rampaging thunder lizards either, so he presumed that the situation was in hand. He just hoped she solved it soon so he could consult her about this flaming sword. Calthar and Burks both entered them. The latter spoke in an urgent tone.
Warchief, there's someone here who has to talk to you now.
Thrall did not like the idea of Burks giving him orders, but before he could say anything, Calthar gave Thrall a significant look.
Do you think I should see this person, Shaman?
Thrall asked.
I do,
Calthar said quietly.
Very well.
Thrall stood his ground, having grown tired of the throne. Burks went out and led one of the scouts in. A jungle troll, he was dressed in decorative armor and the mask that was traditional among those of the Darkspear tribe. Feathers, wood, and paint combining with a triangular helmet to present a fearsome effect. By contrast, when he removed his helmet, it was to reveal a friendly, open face, far gentler than one would expect from the fearsome Darkspears. Here we are about to have a glitch, ladies and gentlemen. It's going to cut off very soon, so the camera will be over. Jungle trolls wielded powerful magics, ones that no other race had ever been able to master, though Thrall knew of some humans who had tried and failed at the cost of their souls, and the Darkspears had sworn allegiance to Thrall.
This, Burke said, is Rokan.
The introduction was unnecessary. The troll's reputation preceded him as one of the finest scouts in Kalimdor. Holding his helm under his arm, Rokan stepped forward.
I'm afraid I be bringing some bad news, man. The humans, they be sending more troops to the North Watch.
Thrall couldn't believe what he was hearing.
They're reinforcing? That's what it look like, man. I be seeing lots of boats full of soldiers all heading straight for the North Watch. And they be sending one of their airships up north too, but it be going toward Bladescar.
Thrall frowned.
How many troops?
Rokan shrugged.
Hard to say, but there was at least 20 boats, and them things be carrying at least 20 humans each.
Rokan is the shadow blade from Warcraft 3.
400 troops, Burke said, and this happened right after your friend Jaina went off to solve the thunder lizard problem that the humans caused. We can't wait for her to finish that, Warchief. I'm sure Jaina's intentions are good, but her people aren't, and we can't ignore this. Burks is correct.
Calthar spoke in a voice that sounded weary, and Thrall was reminded just how old the shaman was.
The maintenance of Northwatch Keep was a deliberate show of strength on the humans' part. However, this reinforcement, in light of other recent events, can only be an act of aggression, and one to which we must respond in kind. That was Admiral Proudmoore's stronghold.
Burks hardly needed to remind Thrall of that, though that didn't stop him.
And now the subjects of Admiral Proudmoore's daughter are trying to finish his work behind her back.
Burks's words did not impress Thrall overmuch, but Calthar's did, and Rokan was the finest of his scouts. His observations were to be trusted.
Very well, Burks. Have Nazgul assemble a garrison and send them into the Barrens. Have them take a position outside of Northwatch. Then I want you to take a fleet of our boats and send them downriver as well. Summon the trolls and have them do the same.
He sighed. He had hoped that the days of fighting humans were past, but it seemed that old hatreds died very hard.
If the humans wish a fight, they will find us more than ready.
When Burks had finished giving instructions to Nazgul and to the harbor master, he returned to his home. He had preparations to make before he journeyed down the Great Sea in order to put an end to the human scourge once and for all. It was while he was sharpening his axe that the smell of sulfur permeated his hut. He felt a warm sensation in the folds of his breeches and the small inner pocket where he hid the talisman that Zmodlor had given him as a symbol of his allegiance.
Nosh, does all go according to plan?
Well, that's lame. Burks hated the idea of swearing his allegiance to anyone save his own war chief, but he played along and replied,
Galtak Nosh, it does. Thrall is sending troops by land and by sea. Within 2 days, our people will be at war with the humans. Within a week of that, the humans will be destroyed. Excellent. You have done well, Burks. I just want to do what's right for the orcs. That's all I care about. Of course, both our causes are served by this war. Galtak and Nosh.
As far as Burks was concerned, and there goes the camera, it was the lesser of two evils was all. The demons were bastards, yeah, but they always had the orcs' best interests in mind. They brought the orcs to this world so they could rule it. It wasn't the demons' fault that the humans were able to do so well, to imprison them and make them forget who they were. Sure, the demons were using the orcs, but at least they never humiliated them. Burks had grown up a slave. Humans regularly beat him, taunted him, defecated on him, and then forced him to clean up their messes while they laughed at him. They called him all manner of names, the kindest of which was you green-skinned oaf, and they made sure to give him the most degrading tasks. Burks was never sure why he was singled out among the orcs on the estate for the horrible duties. No one ever bothered to tell him. Perhaps he was simply picked at random. Compared to what he went through as a human slave, what the demons did was nothing, and if it meant cooperating with one of them to make sure that the plague that was humanity was wiped out, that was okay with Burks. He owed Thrall everything and more, but Thrall could not get past his blind spot regarding the humans. But then Thrall had been well regarded by his master. True, Adelis Blackmore had nasty plans for Thrall, but he had treated him a lot better than Burks' master did. Better than most orcs, in fact. Slowly but surely, Thrall was seeing the error of his ways. This troop amassment at Northwatch had finally done it. At this point, it was just a matter of time. Orc and troll warriors so close to human soldiers, it would be a powder keg. Burks finished sharpening his axe, looking forward to seeing it run red with human blood. All right, so we had a reveal, and that reveal was that we are looking at yet another infiltration. The Burning Blade has its fingers deep in both factions. What I don't like is the oversimplification. Just about everyone, well, yeah, they go into their minds and you see there is this core of mistrust at best and just downright racism, regardless if it's for valid reasons. You are tortured, you're enslaved, your people are all killed. You watch brutal things by the other side, acts of war, and that's hard to get over. And so it's still resulting in, like I said, at best mistrust, but really basically complete racism. I still don't like that all of the major players that are pushing for this, they're all just having their strings pulled by the Burning Blade, really. They might be semi-willing, but the fact that it's going on both sides, I wish there was a little more nuance than that. For now, this book has done a good job of getting you to kind of underestimate it and then elevating it in another chapter. So we still have some time to go. All right, I apologize for the video glitches. What I will continue to do is it seems like it will last a little while and then it glitches out. The camera itself must be dying. So I'll get right on that. Hopefully it'll just be a few days that we suffer with this. I'll still keep making the videos. You'll just be looking at my frozen head in the background, or no video at all if it completely craps out. Thank you so much for watching and listening to Lore of Warcraft. I hope that you're enjoying the story. If not, my amateur production values. This one in the pipe 5x5.